So, let's try this. Hi everyone, welcome to a hopefully new series on the channel. So both the men's and women's Cavan Football Championships started just over a week ago, and so I'm going to try and do an episode for every round in both championships. Let's see how long I last. So sit back and enjoy the first episode of the Cavan Football Championships Roundup. Since the men's seniors have not kicked off yet, let's start off with the intermediate championship. At 7:45 on Friday the 10th in Kilnalek, Lacken and Ballymacue met in their first round clash in the Cavan Intermediate Football Championship. A very close affair. Despite Lacken getting a goal early on, Ballymacue kept with them, and by half time Lacken led by a goal 3 to 4 points. But things changed in the second half when a Ballymacue goal was scored by Liam Buchanan, suddenly putting Lacken on the back foot. However, through consistent point scoring, Lacken quickly got themselves back ahead, eventually ending the game with the win of a goal 11 to a goal 7. At the same time in Butler's Bridge, Killincare and Templeport began their intermediate championship campaigns against each other, and it was Killincare who got off to the best between them, in a dominant display, leading a goal 8 to 2 points at half time. And despite a resurgent effort by Templeport, it was not to be, as Killincare won the game a goal 14 to 9 points. On Saturday the 10th at 6:30 in Killincare, Drumgoon faced Den. The game itself was a very low scoring affair. Points by Bernard Gaffney, Ben Connachie and Sean Donoghue gave Den the lead at half time, leading 4 points to 2. Drumgoon however quickly clawed back the gap, and the game continued with the two sides exchanging scores. However, it was Den that held on, winning the game of 7 points to 6. Max McGrath Park in Red Hills was the place where Cornafane and Shercock kicked off their championship game. At the start of the game it was Shercock with the advantage, scoring a goal 8 seconds into the game. However, it did not take long for Cornafane to catch up and take the lead. Cornafane slowly but surely pulled away. However, towards the end of the game Shercock tried to reel them back in, scoring another goal thanks to a penalty. However, Cornafane took the win with 18 points to 2 goals 9. In Kingscourt, Cootehill Celtic and Ballybor Shamrocks got their championships off. Another tightly contested game, but it was Cootehill thanks to an early goal that had the edge at half time with a goal 4 to 5 points. Cootehill carried this momentum into the second half. Another goal in the second minute of the second half, and along with another handful of points, meant they held on to their lead. Ballybor were not out of it though. They kept up with Cootehill points wise, and they got their own goal with 5 minutes to go thanks to Brendan Argue, and never gave up until the end. Cootehill though were too strong, winning the game 2 goals 8 to 1 goal 8. In Lavey on Sunday the 11th, Cuchullins got their intermediate championship underway against Butler's Bridge. The first half mainly consisted of the two sides exchanging points in a close game, but towards the end of the half Butler's Bridge scored 3 points without a response, leading at half time 7 points to 4. Cuchullins was quick to respond in the second half with a goal courtesy of Glenn McCann to tie the game up, and then another goal by Conor O'Reilly to give Cuchullins the lead. However, 2 Butler Bridge goals by Kieran O'Reilly and Kevin McPhillips gave Butler's Bridge the lead once again, and from there Butler's Bridge never lost the lead, even getting another goal by Liam McEntee later on in the half, and more points left Butler's Bridge with the win, 3 goals 9 to 2 goals 7. In Kingspan Breffni, Drumlane and Arva would meet in the last round 1 intermediate championship match. It was Drumlane that got off to the best start, scoring a goal and 3 points before Arva even got a point on the board. Eventually though, Arva got on the pace quickly, catching up with good scores until at half time it was Drumlane leading a goal 7 to 9 points. Arva then got the best start in the second half, getting ahead thanks to 3 points in a row. Drumlane tried to get back ahead with some good scores, but Arva held their lead, eventually winning the game 15 points to a goal 10 in a brilliant comeback performance. So after round 1 of the Intermediate Championship, this is what the table looks like, with Killincare getting the best start to lead so far. Butler's Bridge in 2nd, Lacken 3rd, Cornafane 4th with Coothill 5th, Arva and Den and Drumgoon just about holding on to that final quarter-final position thanks to their close game with Den. While Bailieborough, Ballymacucu, Hullins and Templeport will be hoping to get out of that relegation playoff spots in the next few rounds. The opening junior championship match did not disappoint as Drung took on Knockbride and Coothill. The game kicked off at 7:45 on Thursday the 8th, with Knockbride taking the early advantage, with points by Paddy Rogers, Paddy Smith, Lurkin Riley and Kieran Smith, which gave their side a 6-point lead at half time as they led 9 points to 3. Momentum then began to swing back to Drung as Paddy McEntee and Barry Waters began scoring more points and closing the gap slowly but surely. Knockbride themselves kept putting points over until heading into injury time it was 15 points to 12 in Knockbride's favour. That was until the 67th minute when Gary Waters scored a goal for Drung, tying up the game in the dying seconds, with the game ending Knockbride 15 points to Drung's a goal 12. In Drumlane on Friday the 10th at 7:45, Red Hills and Killishandra met in their junior championship clash. The game started competitively enough with Red Hills leading it by 6 points at half time, with a goal 6 to 3 points. But the second half was a complete dominant display by Red Hills, eventually winning the game outright, a goal 16 to 5 points, in a dominant opening game display for Red Hills. On Saturday the 10th, Shannon Gales took on Kildallan. Shannon Gales had the advantage at half-time, leading a goal 9 to 5 points. Unfortunately for Kildallan though, they wouldn't make much of an impression into this lead, as Shannon Gales dominated the game, a goal 16 to 9 points. In Killigary on Sunday the 11th, Munchaconnock and Swanlin Bar had their game. At the start of the game it was a tit-for-tat affair between the two sides, with Munchaconnock having about a 1-point advantage. However, 2 Swanlin Bar goals around the 20th minute changed the face of the game, and by half time Swanlin Bar led 2 goals to 5 to a goal to 7 points. In the second half, Munchaconnock started to eat into Swanlin Bar's lead, even getting it down to a 1-point game in the 48th minute. However, Swanlin Bar kept their composure, and with a few unanswered points at the end of the game, they won the match 2 goals 10 to 13 points. At the same time in PJ Duke Park, Mount Nugent and Kill Shamrocks kicked off their junior football campaigns. It was Kill who had the advantage at half time, leading Mount Nugent a goal 9 to 6 points, and they never looked back, winning the game with a commanding 2 goals 14 to a goal 10. In Terrycoyle Park, Drumalee and Belturbet met in the last game of round 1 in the Junior Football Championship. As the game kicked off, it was Drumalee with the early advantage, scoring 4 unanswered points in the first 8 minutes. However, Belturbet eventually scored a couple of points, but it wasn't enough to overcome Drumalee, as they led 6 points to 2. However, things quickly changed for Belturbet when they scored a goal and a point within 12 minutes of the second half, putting themselves only a point behind Drumalee, who themselves scored a point. Eventually, Belturbet drew the game and then took the lead with 4 consecutive points. They then scored another goal, increasing their lead even further. This was all enough to make up for their subpar first half to win the game 2 goals 8 to 7 points. So this is what the junior table looks like after round 1, with Red Hills taking the lead with their plus 14 points difference, I should say. Kills in second with Shannon Gales third, Belturbet fourth, Swanlin Bar 5th, Drung and Knockbride 6th and 7th with their tie game, and Munchaconnock just holding on to that 8th place, with Mount Nugent, Kildallan, Drumalee and Killishandra with it all to do in the next few rounds. On Friday the 10th at 7:45, the Cavan Ladies Senior Football Championship kicked off between Lacken and Crusherlough in Lacken. A very tight first half with both sides trading points for the majority of the first half, but at half time it was Crusherlough who had a 2-point lead with 6 points to 4 points. However, in the second half, Crusherlough broke ahead even more. A penalty scored by Ella Boylan cemented their position in the front, and another Crusherlough goal by Hannah Boylan made that lead very commanding. Shauna Lynch added another goal, and along with more points scored, by the end of the game it was Crusherlough who won with a commanding 3 goals 12 to 6 points. At the same time, Gowna and Lurgan clash in their Group A game in the Senior Championship. However, it was Lurgan who ended up on top with a dominant display, winning the game 2 goals 15 to a goal 4. So this is the standings for Group A in the Senior Championship, with Crusherlough only ahead by points difference, as you can see there, only ahead by 1 points difference ahead of Lurgan. But there's still a long way to go in this championship, and this could all very much change. In Killigarry on Saturday the 10th, Group B of the Ladies Senior Championship kicked off between Killigarry and Drumlane. Straight off the bat, Killigarry dominated the first half, quickly tipping over points, and to add more insult to injury, even got a goal in the dying stages of the first half, where they led a goal 8 to 2 points. And although Drumlane themselves scored 2 goals and a few more points in the second half, they could not make any impact into Killigarry's lead, as Killigarry won the game a goal 18 to 2 goals 5. In Annalea Park, Ballyhaise took on Castlerahan Den. It was a dominant display for the amalgamation, who scored an impressive 5 goals and 14 to dominate the game compared to Ballyhaise's score of 2 goals 9. So it was Castlerahan Den who got off to the best start in Group B, with Killigarry in second place at the minute, but with Drumlane and Ballyhaise having work to do to make up for the defeat in round 1. In the first clash of the Group A Intermediate Championship, Belturbet Red Hills took on Munchaconock Mount Nugent in Max McGrath Memorial Park at 7 o'clock. In a closely contested game, it was Munchaconock Mount Nugent who came out on top by only 1 point, with a score of 2 goals 12 to a goal 14. At the same time, Lavey was taking on Templeport in Lavey. The game was another tight affair, with Templeport scoring the most points, but Lavey, despite only having 4 points, tied it up with 2 goals, ending the game 2 goals 4 points to 10 points in a relatively low scoring game. Judging from round 1, Group A looks set to be really competitive, and it'll be interesting to see how it plays out throughout the season. But at the minute, it's Munchaconock Mount Nugent who holds the edge over everyone else. Group B opens with the clash between Mullahoran and Cornafane in Our Lady of Lourdes Park in Mullahoran. Although the game was a high scoring one, it was Mullahoran who blitzed past Cornafane with a score of 4 goals 13 to 1 goal 12. So it was Mullahoran who got off to the best start in Group B. Cornafane will be hoping to bounce back in the next round when they play against Bailaborough. In St Bridget's Park, Knockbride took on Kingscourt Stars in the opening game of Group C. It was a hard game for the Stars, as Knockbride got a goal and 4 points before Kingscourt got their first score in the 13th minute thanks to a goal by Kerry McCormack. By half time, however, Knockbride were already ahead by 8 points, and they continued to push ahead in the second half, with the game finishing 3 goals 14 to 1 goal 6. So it's Knockbride in the driving seat of Group C after round 1. Kingscourt Stars will be hoping for better in the next round against Ballymacue. It'll be a crucial game for them then. Last year's junior champions Cuchullins were hoping they could get their intermediate championship off to a good start as they faced St Finbarrs in Mulla. However, the game was not the start that they were hoping for, as St Finbarrs dominated it, finishing 7 goals 21 points to 4 points, giving Cuchullins a lot to think about for this coming season. Now, after round 1, this is what the Group D table looks like in the Intermediate Championship. St Finbar is taking the lead with their victory over Cuchulains, while Drumgoon, without playing any games, lies in second place. Cuchulains will be hoping to bounce back after their poor performance in the first round. In PJ Duke Park on Sunday the 11th, Lara and Shercock kicked off the Ladies Junior Football Championship with a fairly high scoring game. In the first half it was Shercock who had the edge, but not by much. Up until the 20th minute both sides were around even, but good continuous play by Shercock gave them a 6-point lead at half time, with 2 goals 9 points to 2 goals 3 points. However, things changed for Lara in the second half. A goal scored by Niamh Keenahan for Lara brought down the gap, and good consistent point scoring levelled the game 13 minutes into the second half. From there things turned around for Lara as they scored a penalty thanks to Megan McKenna. Shercock were not out of it though, as they themselves got another goal, but it was all for naught. The dominating last 10 minutes of play by Lara gave them the win, 6 goals 13 to 3 goals 11. But it was a great effort by both teams. In Terrycoyle Park, Cavan Gaels took on Butler's Bridge in their Group A Junior Championship game. Although the game was close points wise, it was Cavan Gaels who had the edge with their goal scoring, the game ending with Cavan Gaels' victory of 2 goals 13 to 12 points. So with Lara getting the best start in Group A of the Junior Football Championship, ahead of Cavan Gaels, Butler's Bridge and Shercock, but all still very close, and it might not end the way it started, but hopefully for Lara's sake that it does. In Group B, Ballinya and Killincare faced off in Ballinya. It was a brilliant performance by Killincare as they dominated the game. They led at half time 3 goals 6 to 2 goals 2 points, and then proceeded to dominate the second half, winning in the end by 8 goals 15 to 2 goals 6. A brilliant display by a well improved Killincare team. In St Mary's Park in Swanlin Bar took on Arva Killashandra in the last Ladies Junior Championship game. The game itself was domination for Arva Killashandra, winning by a commanding 8 goals 14 to 5 points. So it was Arva Killashandra that got off to the best start in Group B of the Junior Football Championship. Killincare motoring well there in second place, Ballinya doing well for first timers in third place, while Swanlin Bar has it all to do in the next few rounds in fourth.